Makes sense.
That's good to know.
But, yeah, yeah, but
So no more closing out when you're getting older.
Yeah, I do that there, right?
Well, next time I have to go to some of them. I'll take it.
Good.
entertain a motion to accept minutes with the corrections, on number 5. My God, in favor, signify by saying aye.
Okay, let me check this. I'll take it. Okay, yes. We need a couple of places for it. That number is 913-367-4400. 0, and this extension is 133. You're welcome.
I didn't want you to get too much a good thing.
Well, there's actually 3 different figures in that raw paragraph that need to be changed.
Okay. Same.
This should read
26. Okay.
Emotion.
Okay. So I just think it's, okay.
Yeah. Just 26 also.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Brent J. Yeah, you did.
We cover what we need to cover. We got just 2 or 3 other items here. Hopefully you sit down in 2 minutes. That's no pressure, Brent.
2? Do what?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
No pressure.
Okay. You just say to Evelyn Woods, can you talk?
Don't feel bad, they only give me one.
Okay, this, we would like to start with an introduction. I don't know if you guys know, this is Con Olson. Tom, Mike, and Jeff, and Patrick, and Pauline. And he's our regional director, so he oversees and manages 4 different counties, but he's going to be spending a lot of time in Atchison, as well as Jay and myself. And Chad, you already know. So let's get started with the updates. We will take care of personnel in a little bit, but I wanted to cover Chad is the official EMS service director for Ashland County EMS. And has been doing a great job so far.
So far.
Just kidding.
No, put that one in.
Updates on a lot of different things. Over the past few months, it has been extremely busy, but things have went very, very well, very smooth, in getting things updated for the new service. There was a lot to cover, and I'd like to thank everybody here for making all that happen, plus other people. The first item is the ambulances. As you guys are probably aware of some of this. So if you already are aware of this, then tell us and we'll move on. Medic 3 is at the remounting company and it is getting torn apart and refurbished and put back together on a new chassis. Medic 5 is also there. Jay and Chad made arrangements for the par car to go down and get inspected on what was needed. You guys want to give an update on that?
We spent a half a day up there with them. Pretty good little operation. They're just going to do some minor modifications to the back of it to make it conducive for our work environment. Do the color schemes and whatever. Get the lights up to normal spec for us, and hopefully we'll be able to be rocking out of that. And I'm going to guess February, March maybe.
It'd be that long before that'll be up in operation. You mean?
It can be up in operation just without,
Okay. But I mean, what you're just saying, maybe that long before it's totally.
They're ready for it and
Okay.
and completely done. That's just our guesstimate.
Okay.
And in the meantime, if we need to, we can operate another ambulance as the park vehicle for a temporary measure.
Definitely, patient transport vehicles are #1 priority, so we want to leave them,
Sure.
going on those before we get this one. Jen?
Did they give us 2 replacement ambulances or just 1? What did they look like?
They gave us 2 loaners. The second one is getting picked up on Thursday. We made arrangements to pick them up on Thursday. We meet in Platte City, they just stand off, so we don't have to go the whole way. But they did arrange for 2. We had the bins and everything on that, and insurance all taken care of.
Great.
Also, we checked with Pauline a while back to make sure that in the quotes and to make sure that this company has your guys' fleet identification number, which saves you quite a bit, saves the county quite a bit of money. Plus, we made sure they had the customer loyalty discounts in there from us previously doing business with them and things like that, which saved a fair amount of money on the cost for remounting the 2 ambulances onto the 2013 chassis. Equipment. Yes.
Do we get those chassis back?
No.
That's part of it.
That's part of it.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Anything else on the ambulances themselves?
They could probably make arrangements if you want.
Yeah, you get it.
I'd say there's been.
Okay.
Chad may want one, or just memory's sake. I mean.
I'm good, thank you.
One thing about it is you can make it a stationary monument because it probably won't move.
I think it won't move. It won't move.
They're moving a trailer down there, I believe.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
119 for an elderly female, difficulty breathing.
On equipment, you wanna talk a little bit about that, Chad?
Yeah, no,
You gotta go,
Sorry.
okay, no problem.
I didn't come through.
And actually, Patrick, you may be the most up on this.
Yeah, I think so, but I think I want to have a discussion in the executive session. We're working with the hospital to try to identify all the equipment. I don't think we're going to have big problems, but I think I want to have that discussion in the executive session. Well, can, or we other, they can't be in for the executive session.
Let's let them finish and then we can do that.
So otherwise, on other equipment issues, believe we have everything necessary to start, and there's a few things that we can add from our equipment to make things work, and then probably sometime in the early part of 2013, we're going to get you guys some information on replacement programs and things to run a little more efficiently and effectively when it comes to the equipment and what may be needed, what's necessary, what may be needed, and what would be nice, so you guys can know that. Supplies, once again, that's what we're doing this month, is getting the stations, the Effingham station, we're going to be infusing a lot of supplies to, probably this week actually. The hospital is, we've made arrangements with the hospital to either purchase or make things right with the hospital and disposable supplies, so that's a smooth transition. We've set up all the necessary accounts that we need to set up for services locally. Board of EMS. We've got our Kansas State Board of EMS certificate. We've had it for a while. I think we announced that last time. We've had that official Type 1, meaning Advanced Life Support Ambulance Service, the highest you can get for a ground ambulance. We have that. We've had that inspection. We have that in place. We have all our other permits in place, pharmacy, drug licenses, DEA, all that sort of stuff. We have in place. No other licensing that needs to take place before the 1st. Personnel. This was a huge and timely task, but it was well worth it. Personnel. We interviewed everybody in the current system, and we've ended up hiring about 30 people, predominantly from the current system that operates now. We did add some. We have found some local talent already that is getting ready to go. We're going to expand the local talent as well. I mean, that's one of the big things we do, but that's going to take a little bit of time. But we've already found some local talent just to start off with. Personnel, we're just continuing getting them ready. There's a lot of training, education that's going on. Getting the infrastructure there with their protocols and mapping for the areas of the county that they are familiar with. For different groups, different areas of the county that they're familiar with, and other areas that they are not. Scheduling, we already got next month entirely scheduled, and that is all going well. We have a good pool of paramedics, a good pool of EMTs for that. We have done a few presentations to the community. We want to, as time permits. That's the biggest thing up to this point, is just the time allotment of being able to do that. We've already had some meetings though with some community groups. We want to do more of those, and we'd like to extend the offer to any, I'm sure you guys work with a lot of organizations and things throughout the community. Please tell them we want to come in and talk to them. We've already done that with a few groups. Had a great time with the Women's Club from Effingham and others. We've also met with the fire departments, all the fire chiefs, had discussions, answered some of their concerns, just not knowing, everybody is, not sure how things are going to flow, so we answered a lot of questions there. Had a good discussion with all the fire chiefs. Also, have met with the City of Atchison's fire chief, took a lot of calls from the city, met with him, worked out the strategic plans there and worked out details there, kind of informed him. We're going to do some more training with that department as well as others, and also we're going to continue to work on our strategic plan as far as working together. We've met with Rescue, both east and west, and I believe the way it's going to be in the future, it's going to be one whole group. I know Wes has been working diligently on that. So Rescue is coming together nicely. So we've met with a lot of entities, the City of Atchison, Police Chief briefly. We've been to dispatch numerous times, also the Sheriff's Office, but we probably need to get back into the Sheriff's Office with the change in elections and things like that. Excited about talk that we've had about with the communication board and different avenues for bringing the public services together. Stations. Wes, anything you want to add on
western station is done, we're moving into it tonight, so it's 100% ready to go. The eastern, we provided them with the washer and dryer and hookups, and the only thing they have left is just the equipment for that station.
So the stations are going well. There should not be any station issues to hinder getting things going on the first. Atchison Hospital. We've met with the hospital. We met with different people. We met with the current medical director, Dr. Myros. We actually, it's kind of unique. The way this is kind of fit together is we have our medical director, we don't have just one, we have two medical directors. Dr. Myros is co-sharing medical directorship with Dr. Smith, who is the doctor, the physician that helps us with some of our other counties and also sits on the actual board of EMS in the state. So those two are going to share medical director responsibilities, so that has worked out really well. The hospital, the Atchison Hospital, has been great to work with. Really just things have flowed very smoothly with them as far as getting things ready, everything that we've had to do and get done. Not only on the facilitating the transition, but also on facilitating some patient care initiatives that we want to see in the county, getting some things more definitive in place for people that have certain medical conditions, time-sensitive medical conditions. And I don't want to say too much there because I don't know when the hospital is planning on talking about some of the stuff they want to talk about, but there's those discussions going on. We've had a few staff meetings. There's another one this week with the staff. Staff is excited and getting ready to go. We have all the QA, the quality assurance. We have all the medical protocols in place. Those are all signed off. I'm ready to go. Very, very thick books. I mean, there's a lot of information there, but we have all those ready to go and in place. Been working out some logistical things that we've been talking about before with having extra ambulances. We're prepping a few other extra ambulances in Jackson in case the need arises that we need an extra ambulance here, or facilitating transfers. I know that at certain times the current structure is still in place. If the hospital, if the current EMS is out on a call, they will call us for transfers, and we've done several lately. It sounds pretty busy at the hospital. Facilitate those so that you don't have to take away 911 resources from Atchison County. That's all been working well. Computers. Wes has got computers for the station. We were able to, as we told you before, we were able to get. The thought was we would have to continue the way things were going to go, which meant we were going to have to buy tough books for each tough book computers for each ambulance, and they're very expensive. I mean, they're several thousand each. We were trialing a service that allowed you to use a tablet at one of our other services, and that proved to be efficient and productive. And so what we did was we purchased tablets. Wes got 4 tablets, or actually the county purchased 4 tablets that allowed us to do the job we needed to do, but not have to purchase the tough books at an expensive price. Probably saved, I'm guessing, probably $10,000, $12,000 is probably what it saved the county from doing that. We got 4 tablets with keyboards to facilitate the electronic patient care records. We had to make an investment on our end for the software and the support and things like that, but that was well worth it to facilitate the whole process. The management team, we already kind of briefly touched on it. There's a staff of approximately 30 in place that's getting prepared. Along with that, the management team, even though Chad's been doing a great job, Chad's his first director job, so we don't expect him to know everything right out of the gate. We don't expect him to have every answer, but he is liking how we are putting things together from from the perspective of a management team, instead of just putting him out there on an island by himself. Colin is doing numerous shifts on a routine basis in Atchison. Jay is doing them, I'm doing them, Chad's doing them. And I think and that's kind of the management structure. Over the course of the next year or so, we're gonna develop the next level of that management structure as time goes on. But that's gonna take a little time to develop. But so far that's worked very well. One of those other things we just have noticed going very, very smoothly and efficiently. You know, we want to thank the hospital. We want to thank Wes for all the work he's done. He has really busted his buttons to get things done. J.D. Thompson as well. Effingham Fire facilitated things, as well as the rescue services in the county, and that's just to name a few. There's lots of people that have done lots of stuff, but they've done a lot to help facilitate things. That's a lot of information crammed into whatever time frame. What questions do you guys have for us? I mean, we have ongoing projects, but January 1st is still an appropriate time frame.
That January 1st transition, I think, is probably the key as far as like transitioning out Ashland Hospital. It's not a problem, I think, on the west side, but as far as the eastern half, what's that? What's that? Yeah, we'll look back over that 2 or even 3 day period.
Well, that evening, we're gonna be here on New Year's Eve. To bring in the new year with the new service, kind of neat. We just kind of always anticipate.
Sometimes take over.
It's an exciting thing, you know. But no, there shouldn't be any hospital at that.
Hopefully it's a quiet night.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, after midnight we'll probably get busy, but at midnight we'll have the new schedule and the new crew, which will be us and a lot of the current people in place to run ambulance calls. There'll be a unit or a crew that gets transferred out to Effingham, so they can man that, and then also that night there'll be the FAR car will be placed into effect, whether it be the Dakota or the Durango or the ambulance, it'll be placed in the service that night. A lot of this stuff is preparatory work beforehand, so we expect it to go smooth, but we're ready for whatever happens. Anything else related to that night? I mean, it'll probably be pretty uneventful,
yeah.
But
like you said, 1-2 days beyond that, we're ready for it.
as far as the first week, I mean, there's certain things that we're gonna have to do the first week afterwards, or certain things we're gonna have to do within a month or so, and there's ongoing things we're gonna have to go do throughout the year. I mean, we have been focusing on the highest priority topics. There's a lot of other initiatives that we want to do throughout the coming years, but obviously there's no time for that now. So we're excited, and we think everything is getting in place.
Everything. That's the number 2 things we've got to make sure we're ready to roll.
Okay. So we're starting out with 3. Is that right? 3 trucks.
The 2 ambulances. Well, there'll be 4 ambulances.
Okay.
Physically, there'll be 4 ambulances, and then there'll be 2 ambulances, and then there'll be the FAR car with paramedic first response. So that should all be in place. Now, the actual trucks, they're probably not going to get done until probably, what is the latest schedule? Probably late January for the truck completion to remount the boxes onto new chassis. So we'll have to wait for that, but it really shouldn't inhibit anything other than not being in a new truck. I mean, we're still going to have the current loaners that they're providing, plus we'll have 2 other ambulances that are currently in the system, plus if we need backups or other extra trucks or whatever, we've got those too. So that should be pretty well taken care of. And then the FAR car will just have to get done whenever it gets completed, whatever time frame it is. But it's not a high priority because we have other vehicles we can use temporarily. So. You're back. Good deal.
had 2 or 3 questions. You know, and I did with you about this, is that, you know, working and probably through Chad, we're gonna need to develop, you know, a specific budget as we go through, and then probably as we go into a new budget year, after we kind of experience that, we're gonna wanna help, you know, modify that so that we know what to budget for 2014. So, you know, sometime once you get the system up and going and stuff, because a lot of this stuff is gonna be totally new to us, and you know, we know that there's, you know, you guys are taking care of the majority of things, but there's a few things that, you know, we have to be responsible for, so we need to know that in our budget to make sure that we're, you know, in good shape.
Absolutely. And that kind of goes back to the equipment too, and replacement periods and all that sort of stuff. We'll get, that'll probably be the first half of 13, because you guys will want a solid understanding of that by summer. Is that fair? For the next budget cycle?
Yeah, we probably say June, July, we're gonna start a little earlier this year, so, yeah, we may, if we know, you know, the sooner we know, the better, as far as that goes, so we can kind of plan ahead a little bit and be a little better prepared, so we can do a better job keeping the equipment up than it's been done in the past, so.
Okay. We don't know, budgetarily, we don't know, I mean, so far, we're, I think, a fair amount probably under budget when you figure in the, Campbell's versus Tough Books, and also the discount on the truck and so forth and so on. So, the thing we don't know, we're expecting a quote very soon on the park car, see what they quote that as, but other than that, I don't know if there's any other, items for the current that are out there and we don't know what they're looking like.
Well, we've got, the upkeep and stuff on facilities. So that, I mean, those are the things we need to make sure that we got line items in the budget, so that, you know, so we know that we'll be paying the hospital rental, you know, fee, plus utilities and stuff. I mean, those are the things, and any other incidentals, you know, and stuff that we are responsible for. We want to make sure that that's covered, because we're hoping, based upon, you know, figures that I've seen, that there's plenty there the first year to cover, even maybe as we get halfway through the year, if we're doing good, we may have to start, you know, acquiring some of this equipment that you know, think that we need to be planning for. So that's why I think it's important that we have some kind of a budget there to help us, you know, design so that we can follow that and monitor, because, you know, we've got X number of dollars set aside for the operational costs, plus so many dollars set aside for you guys as contractor fees, so we want to try to stay within that.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Those are our areas to keep you there too.
Okay. And then what, I assume that, we talked about reports, quarterly, I mean, is that what you're?
I think it depends on, I would have to go back and look. We're, Colin and Chad are working on developing some things that address, the reports. I mean, really, it doesn't have to be per the contract. I mean, the contract states certain things at certain times, which is great, but I mean, if you want, you know, if we want to do monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, that's fine, and we can get those for you.
Well, I think in the past, we were
Quarterly.
From the hospital, and I think that's probably, unless there's something that, you know, you need to convey to us sooner than that, well, I think quarterly should be sufficient.
Okay.
So. I know, another question is with Chad now being the medical director, you know, Wes is kind of overseeing the volunteer, you know, the kind of the upkeep and stuff. Does that become part of Chad's kind of responsibilities?
Wes's life will become significantly easier.
Well,
January 1st.
Wes will go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just want, you know, I want to make sure we're clear on that, so he knows.
Yeah, he's looking forward to the first, I think.
But to this point, Brent even said it, but I've got to echo the amount of work that's been done over here in this short time frame. They all should be commended for their efforts, and we really can't thank you guys enough. Thanks, Bert.
Chad, JD, everybody that's worked on stuff, all
Well,
the
I knew
entities.
get that out, so.
Okay, good.
And looks like Mary can put that in the article, that.
Put that telephone number in there.
If, instead of paying somebody $500, you pay you guys are going.
We have the Girl Scout scheduled first week or week and a half, so.
They're all young girls now. Well, you know, I appreciate everything you guys have done, come over here and really got us out of the hole and on the right path now. I'll be going off the board here in a couple of weeks, and it's been a pleasure working with you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I mean, we have a lot of work to do, but we have no lower we have the high expectation of providing a professional, efficient service over here, so.
I know you will.
School, the only other stakeholder I thought of, was schools. I know you mentioned several, have you talked with, touch base with schools?
We need to, touch base with them, that wasn't a high priority because of the season we're in.
Yeah.
There's nothing we're gonna be moving right into, but that's something that we're gonna hit after the first few years soon too.
Okay.
Well, we have been in conversation with, high school about their AEDs, and I'm working with some of them to keep them up to date.
Also, tell them about, this is huge too, talk to them about you in Highland, service in Highland, the ENT class.
Oh, okay. Highland Community College, will have us do an ENT class for them, so that we can have, local people come to the local, technical school and become EMTs, so we can really build up our service from here. So we're partnershiping with their, medical program, their nursing program, and we're gonna work real closely with them starting in January, have an ENT class through them.
That's huge, that's something that we are all of us are sitting here very proud of education and, helping the local community, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Chad's an instructor for the state of Kansas, so, it'll be under his auspices of teaching the class in coordination with Highland
And actually, Benedictine is gonna be sending some students as well.
Now, I won't say anything yet, but there's a lot of other classes and avenues in that in the future, so.
I do have one question, and maybe you already know the answer, but is the county in a month-to-month, lease agreement with the building that we're in currently now, or is it?
Annual, the contract has not been signed yet, it's an annual contract that gives us the right to terminate it early if we have our building.
Okay.
So it's for a period.
That's what I was kind of wondering if, that was one thing I was gonna ask about, budgetary reasons. For budgetary reasons, we could maybe start looking at that as well, if that's in your interest as well.
I mean, outside of that,
Yeah.
And that, we were assuming like 2013, we were probably gonna be occupying that building nonetheless. And so
Or at least trying to transition.
Okay, that was, I didn't wanna throw another load on, but I'm
No.
like, do you guys kind of want us to keep progressing with that
We
as well?
we budgeted with the expectations of leasing that through 2013.
Okay.
The full year, I guess you should say, yeah. Just a month by month.
Because we got transition out of possible recycling out there, and then, then you gotta get the remodeling done. And
Sure.
stuff. So then, we got some other things budgetary wise coming up, at the state level that might change our plans, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
There's an issue before the legislatures are trying to, it's called MD, it basically may redefine how machinery and equipment exemptions are, and it could affect us drastically. And so, not only that, there's a lot of other counties that do stuff. We have to be one of the higher ones because we have certain businesses that have a high degree of that kind of equipment and stuff that may fall under the redefinition of tax exempt, so. That happened last year, and we were fortunate to put it off. So anyway, that's.
Okay, well.
We'll take, that's what I'm saying, we're gonna ease into.
Sure,
to
and
this.
we'll always stay apprised of your,
Right.
wants and wishes as well, so, that's time for X's and things, but that was just one question that I had, that I didn't know how.
I think that's always been the intent, and the goal, but, here again, we just ease in.
You bet. No, we understand that completely.
Everybody we've talked, it's just a very good logical place
Right.
to transition
Sure.
into, once we get these other transitions made, so.
curtains or no curtains?
Yeah, doing
At least 12
blinds
months,
or?
at least 12 months.
Okay.
You know, the expectation,
on the wall.
Yeah, well.
the expectation budget-wise was to, at least for 12 months, but I don't think there's anybody batting down the doors to take over the building, so.
Alright, yeah.
I think it's pretty much open.
You know, if the EMTs, you guys win the lottery and want, you know, make a generous donation,
Heck, yeah.
transition fast, you know.
You better believe it.
Alright, anything else, guys? No?
Thank you, Eric, for you guys'
Oh.
time. Nice meeting you. Ted, thank you, Wes, thank you. You're not leaving, but.
Merry Christmas,
Thanks for the
Happy New
update.
Year, and if you guys need anything, call us.
And there's updates that we can give you guys as
Yeah.
well without us having to be present. I mean, at any time, you know, like,
You can go through, you
Thank you.
know, don't be afraid, I mean, we're not afraid to talk to Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe on the front end, maybe more frequently than, I don't know, we'll just have to work it out, I mean. That's it.
Whatever feels right, seems right.
we're always under the good relationship is no news is good news. If you're not hearing from us and we're not hearing from you, everything's going good, but, you know, if you guys want more communication, we're glad to do it for you, so.
You know, sometimes you never can do too much, but you'll,
Right.
with trust and transition, this thing, I think, we realize we're gonna do it both here and there.
Sure.
Sounds to me like you've got a good enough backup force that you can handle just about anything, so.
Good
We
crews,
appreciate it.
good people, that's what it amounts to.
Thank you, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Sorry we ain't up on your time. You got nothing?
Yeah, I got
Nobody knows for me, but I'm pretty sure $5 per student.
Remember? You're not billing me?
Okay, that's fine, I'll have them bill you Thursday.
Right. Okay, what time?
I'm just joking.
The two bridges together.
I need to see how
all
this thing goes.
the-
I'm gonna fall through.
Okay.
Just
That's
a
set
setup.
up
Oh,
on
okay.
a cost
Okay.
plus profit basis to the maximum. The actual amount turned out to be 62% of the maximum. So, that's good news. Want to thank you for the opportunity to work with you. That's the number 2 thing I want to tell you about. And the third one, the bridge that we're designing down by the railroad, we have some alignment issues with that side road. We have 3 different options. We've asked the state to come out and look at the site prior to us submitting a field check. They have indicated January 3rd or January 4th. That's a Friday, a Thursday, or a Friday. Matt says he can make it either day. Do you have a day that would work for you, or would it work for you to come out there? And I don't know a time yet. They're all invited, but it's your district.
I can make it.
Either day. So if we, word comes out through Matt, then we'll make it work. It's interesting, there was a drive off with a historic marker, and the historic marker disappeared, gone away, so we've gone through the Historic Society and everything, find out if they've got heartburn over that, and, turns out they don't. So, now it's just a matter of,
Did they say they're gonna replace it?
no.
Is that where they park all the loaders and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Probably.
It's railroad found dynamite package under the bridge. And so they had to do a robot down there and take it.
And I tell,
They put it up there underneath the,
I tell people, there's nothing written on these. So if you're in trouble with your wife, you wanna take her home and say, look what that butcher, all right with me.
Mine doesn't like dark chocolate.
Okay.
Pretty much have that.
Yeah, I consult my wife on a very strict diet, and that would be, I'm getting hot at somewhere.
Well, Tom, I may see you one more time then,
yeah.
in your,
Yeah.
okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
What? Just let me know.
Yeah, I will.
very severe, our scrap level sales seem to be down this year.
Yeah, we got a big pile out there, we haven't hauled any for 2 or 3 months now. Well, we just don't have the manpower to do it right now. We're working, what the deal is, we got the excavator down the bridge, and they should be done with that about the end of the week. And that's why we haven't hauled any, because we've had our excavator tied up down on that bridge.
I'm not trying to go here, I'm not trying, I'm just curious there and stuff,
Yeah.
that answers my question,
That's why it's down,
With
because
the
we
good
haven't.
weather, I know you're trying to get projects,
Yeah.
that's a minority thing, I just have to take a look at peak, it's $185.
Yeah, that's the whole deal, our excavator's tied up and we just, can't get it off the bridge to load it, but after
I was
next
gonna ask
week.
you that, how's the bridge progressing?
Should be ready for concrete, Chris told me probably by the end of the week. And then all we have to do is pour a concrete deck on it and wait for that couple weeks to cure out. So, after the end of the week, it's basically gonna be, hopefully we'll get a week of decent weather and we can get that deck poured. So we're looking at, around a month. So, it's coming along good. Hopefully when we get it done, we'll still have some nice, decent weather to pour the concrete on the deck.
Well, I want a little bit of moisture in between.
The moisture really ain't gonna hurt us as long as the duct is full.
Like before it cooled off for long enough, so if we get approved, we'll put that tube in too out there.
Right, yeah. But back to the scrap, there's a big pile of scrap iron out there, it's just been
Okay,
building
not,
up.
I wasn't trying to tell you, I was
Yeah.
just curious,
Yeah.
that answers my question.
Yeah.
Have you talked to, Jackson on, you're getting ready, I know, to get fuel bids ready?
Mhm.
And I just visited with, Rick Brang, and he wanted to, I give him your number, he wanted to talk to you.
Right.
Because they'd heard that there's possibly 2 or 3 other people that may bid.
Right.
And, his concern was that they always bid that premium, which is a little better.
Oh.
I don't, you guys who use it, and probably, we use it, and I know we think it's good, but
Yeah.
whether, I guess what he was more concerned is when the bid goes out, make sure that those bids, come in bidding the same kind of fuel, or at least we need to know what mechanical, if there's a 10-cent difference, is that enough difference to justify better, or the standard 2?
Yeah, I talked to Dawn about that earlier today,
Okay, so you've talked to him?
yeah.
Okay. All right, well, those are just little things that, we're not probably experts on in terms of quality, different quality fuel. There are little different qualities out there.
I know we really like the, fuel we get from Jackson Farmers too, I know.
It's a Ruby, what they call it.
Ruby Red, yeah.
Ruby Red diesel.
Yeah. I know we got some from a different supplier years ago, we had problems, but, yeah, I talked to Dawn about that. I'm gonna get a hold of the suppliers and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Now, did he say anything, there was, if an out-of-state person bids, say from Missouri, does the state, because, Missouri has a lower state tax on their fuel, do they have to pay the state tax? Do they have to bid according to, they're delivering the crop product in Kansas?
I'm not sure, the way it would be delivered.
Federal exemption. Fuel is
Be federal?
Fuel is federal
Alright, so that wouldn't even apply.
I put in the bid, all taxes applied and delivered for the total cost deal.
Alright, that's,
No, I wouldn't mind some moisture.
You're right, you don't want it.
Oh, yeah, we're ready,
Okay.
I'm not, yeah.
one,
There'll
but it's
be,
been predicting that it just keeps
it'll be
going.
20% today, it'll be 50% now.
All right.
Mine's short, sweet, and simple. I just need the chairman to sign off on the LEPC bylaws. We reviewed them at our last meeting, and required my signature and the chairman's signature before we can move to Hayden. So, here's the bylaws that have been changed. So you can read it.
It didn't change.
Right. And, I just need your approval of mine.
Chairman,
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
When it comes to snow removal, when it comes to snow removal up at the ambulance building, is that the hospital's job or is that the county?
I think it was ours under the agreement.
Okay, and that was the question.
Cindy might take care of it. No, they're not gonna do the driveway itself.
The street.
Cause that's an incline, so it'll get salted quite a bit, so the ambulances can get out of the building up to the street. So, I was concerned that they asked me about yesterday, and I said I would ask today.
Let's talk with Joe, they put it off. Clears off Senior Village.
I did not know it was Joe or Roadbridge, that's why I was gonna ask.
I think talk with either or, I think either one of them could figure.
Does Joe have snow plow for the front of the truck?
No. You probably should have brought it up when Matt was here.
I can call Matt and ask him, I just need to find out whose responsibility it was. If it was the hospital or the county.
That'd be ours, and it's ours.
Okay. Then I'll call Matt, cause Joe doesn't have, little scoop over that way, so.
I mean, they have the tractor with the blade, but they don't have.
Yeah, it's ours. It's ours.
Okay. So about yard, they have that too.
That's ours.
Yard, work yard also. So is that physically ours to do, or is that, like, is the county gonna pay for that maintenance? Or is the tax gonna pay for that maintenance, or for the yard work?
It's the county's responsibility to do it.
Okay, so.
But I don't know whether Roadbridge should add it to their organization or.
Or maintenance has mowers.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be in towns.
Be closer to the village than I'm right over there from there. And,
If it don't rain, we have to mow.
very true. Well, hopefully it rains.
Yeah.
That's all I have to do.
Yeah, did we, I mean, I don't know, we give you definite direction, you know, your IT, I mean.
Well, that's why you told me you answered.
Well, yeah, I just had a few questions, because I think we need to start, you know, we need to kind of definitely give you direction one way or another, you know, because, you know, I've been one up that's drug my feet a little bit, but I understand what we're gonna go through. What, have you figured out where's this person gonna be located?
There's a room in my office, or we can find somewhere here in the courthouse to do it.
Well, I think that we need to get that worked out, because I think it makes more sense that we have somebody here.
We just have to find a place for them.
And, I think what was brought up also that, don't be afraid to, you know, get some outside help, and, you know, you kind of know that, I mean, somebody that's got even a little more expertise in it. I want to say that, what we're needing this position for, make sure that candidate, or, you know, the candidates meet certain criteria, so that you're not spending, or we're just having to send them off to tons of school, you know, so they kind of, you know, not that they're gonna be 100% ready when they come in, but I think we need a little help and guidance there. Don't be afraid to seek somebody from whatever, you know, from vendor team. Then also, it sounds like city is truly interested, I think as we get transition and some of this other, we need to have someone talking with the city, so that, say midway through the year, if we've got the money left in the budget, that we could go ahead and maybe get somebody, hired and stuff, or maybe it'll be a possibility if this new position, maybe, if we get a lot done with this other position, maybe we can utilize that person. I mean, that's just a way out option, I'll say. So, I mean, so, okay.
Explore option.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it sounded to me like we won't have to tackle that, we don't need to tackle that right away. Let's get into the year, 3 or 4 months or so, and see where we're at, and as long as, it's more important to get the GIS on the appraisal side done and keep it up to date, so, but anyway, otherwise, I'm finally swayed just enough to understand that I will be monitoring and asking questions, so, okay. All right.
So, did you make a motion, or do I just go do it?
We need to, have you gotten, I saw like a brief, but have you consulted with, I mean, as far as I didn't see qualifications.
I didn't put them on there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like the full description of the job, the duties.
If you could wait, if you could kind of get some of that put together, maybe Brent Wednesday, we can make it formal. I mean, it's technically in the budget, and stuff, so I mean, it's, but I think it would be, we have a little, communication sake to the public and to us, if we have a little more guidelines and stuff, it would be beneficial.
Just get it all drawn up and ready to go and.
Alright,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
Don't have one.
Give me an excuse to come down Wednesday, so.
Yeah, I think we're saying you're good to go, we just need to get that drawn up, and then, as far as like, when you get in the interview process, are you gonna have like a technical panel, interview him, or?
I'm gonna bring someone in besides myself, probably a couple people.
Yeah.
Besides myself, I have one person in mind already, just so I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
And I always think we should have more than one person on every panel ever, so.
Well, we're talking about a pretty technical, pretty important position, and stuff. I mean, not to downplay anybody's ability, I mean, there's other jobs that you don't need technical expertise at this stuff, so that's a good point. That's what I meant in terms of utilizing help in your hiring, so not to take away from your ability, but it takes a little pressure off you too. You can miss 1 or 2 things, so.
Yeah, I have somebody in mind that's an IT director, I'm not gonna say where, because,
Okay.
I think we can give you that latitude.
Yeah.
Really,
2, 3, whatever, or you can do, the more, I mean, you don't get too big, but, it's always good to have a few.
I really don't think I think you get, the sooner we can get it going, I think you'll have quite a few applications, so.
I hope.
You'll probably put out something here before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's the plan, I mean, cause over Christmas, and then you'll have 2 interviewing, and then maybe second interviews, and then offer a position to someone, and they get 2 weeks at their current job if they're already employed, so. Really kind of late January.
Late January, first February, so, I don't think we need to, that's a good enough time frame to live by, so.
Yeah, well, I got, I'll see you on Wednesday. There you go, that was short.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Can we see this first before?
Yep.
Well, we can cook that in the morning.
Don't you love the holiday season?
I'm sorry, I didn't have one for this. And the only other thing I have, start talking to Chip, is the beer license or cereal home beverage license for the cottage store.
We need to authorize you to sign it.
Sure.
This is just the chairman, I'll freak and sign it. Steve, is this what you're signing? Yeah, who's something, I don't know, see. This is off your phone. It could be annually. Let me have you talk to, Richard. You want to talk to
Downstairs?
Well, he's on this line. They're all gonna call up here because this number slips on top of stuff.
Right, that was on the letterhead. Is that a direct number, or does somebody pick it up and put you through to that agent?
Direct up here.
So put your direct number up here.
These ones.
So-
Well, he just wants to know if it's an annual.
Yes.
You wanna just go ahead and take it? Just for a few.
Hello? This is Trace.
We just slide down here on the bottom right, or?
Where's the pen again, right here? It's this one.
Two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sign on there.
Yes.
You sign, I think, everything here. I don't think there's not another place for anybody else to sign on these.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to initial.
Yes, this is a annual fee, and, the protective property tax payment does include.
There is only one spot, right?
So, it can get, it will
That's
be
all
paid,
must be paid.
same way the property taxes are paid. Yes. Okay. That was an yes. Thank you.
Anything more about that?
Thank you.
You want me to see
It is good candy. Probably a $3 box.
Yeah, but maybe a little more than that.
It's on the glass, I got it.
Mr. Chairman, I move to go into executive session for 15 minutes.
Okay.
Come out at 4:55 for
I have no idea.
Second?
You were.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I don't think you should,
What are you talking about?
Attorney-client.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, did you have, houses on that in the ones in town?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I can give you another phone number, on it. Yeah, it's downstairs.
Is it? Okay.
You did one of the two on, or did?
Yeah, that's super tough.
You're different the last two commissioners.
What, we have 15 minutes or something?
Yeah, you should be like that.
Huh?
We got executive session.
Oh, you got another one?
Yeah, I made motion.
Oh, sorry.
It's 20 minutes. 20 minutes?
20 minutes, okay.
What are you, so? 15. And I guess Tom seconded?
Oh, second, yeah.
And it's on,
I thought I made the
just the
motion.
train?
Tom made the motion, one second.
Okay.
Oh, okay, well.
I guess I did the other.
You-
20 minutes, you'll come out at what time?
20 minutes,
Yeah, we come out at 5 o'clock.
4:55.
Sorry. I'm just sitting here eating candy.
Take some more with you, Mary, want another handful?
Oh, wait a minute.
First of all,
Probably.
maybe you want this.
Or if we had drafted a memo and sent to, that group of, I don't even know what, revitalization.
Oh, Memorial Hall, right?
Yeah.
Revitalization.
Maybe see where they're at and, you know, the way that they left it, I don't think they were planning on starting January 1.
No, but
But
it-
they didn't
I
have anywhere
think
near
it
the funds.
didn't say in the paper there, I know when Joe gave them the check, it just made
They
some
weren't
comment
started
that they were,
for a while.
This is something about the spring,
the
didn't it?
spring, and
Yeah, I didn't write it.
But-
Yeah.
I don't want them thinking that we're making up the whole difference, because, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I didn't do an update after that last time they were here.
We just have to get clarification.
Like,
We clearly
understood.
give them comment like that, but if they're not gonna be ready this year, and we have to wait till next year, well, then that would free up those funds for something, for help to go towards the windows.
Sure. I just, let's draft up a memo and send it out to them on Wednesday.
Concerning funds,
Yeah,
and this is for the outside, right? Or for the,
Stuck point.
the revitalization committee, they were wanting to redo the.
The
landscape?
flag,
Yeah.
yeah, the flag that we
Yeah, if there's windows that are, I think that probably takes priority over.
Well, it does, and that's what I'm saying, if they aren't ready to match or, you know, to fully deal with, you know, we can put it off, we can use that towards the windows, and then budget for next year to help them, provided they come up with the money, the rest of the money. I'm not, I think we're being quite generous, to even give them that much money.
Well, you know, talking with Don Huff,
Yeah, that's, yeah.
he had said that he thought that we either need to do the project or send the money back to everybody who said they wanted, everybody who bought a brick for the grant, so. I think his intention, last I talked to him, it's been several months ago, was that it needed to be done in 2013, or as a matter of morality, we need to send the money back to people on the bricks, so. He's my neighbor, I can walk in and talk to him and find out what they're planning.
Well, I
That'd be
remember
great.
our discussion was is that we felt that we would designate 25,000, which is almost half of it, but we didn't feel that from a functional standpoint, that's I guess my personal feeling is I think we're doing a favor.
But it's county building.
It's a county,
We got to maintain it up to.
but the decorating part is not the functionality of the
On the
building.
windows.
The whole building.
Well, I know, but their project was in addition to, it was more cosmetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was landscaping.
I'm just worried about the cost of what the windows is gonna be as far as.
I mean, to me, that makes more sense, keeping that building functional than necessarily landscaping.
We go back to Curtis. Put in for another grant for the windows.
Well, we can always try it. Joe seems to think that we won't get anything on windows, but that's what it's. We can always try.
I didn't think we'd get anything for the windows either.
Yeah.
We did.
Driving that money will come into it.
And I don't think we're gonna get one while we have a grant outstanding.
Yeah, because we haven't utilized it. I just doubt that.
I just thought they were gonna make a last push on their
think all of them need to be done, but that's.
Well, at least whatever they're doing on the lintels, when they pull those out. However many windows that is.
Right, oh yeah, well,
36 or
27,
whatever.
I think, so we said.
Okay. We'll send them out tomorrow.
Okay. I need 1 10-minute executive session with attorney. Client privilege, and then be no action taken.
Make sure you're actually.
We'll adjourn after that.
So, do I have a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.